unapt to stir at these indignities, and you have found me, for accordingly you tread upon my patience. But be sure I will from henceforth rather be myself, mighty and to be feared, than my condition, which hath been smooth as oil, soft as young down, and therefore lost that title of respect, which the proud soul ne'er pays but to the proud.
Our house, my sovereign liege, little deserves the scourge of greatness to be used on it, and that same greatness too, which our own hands have hoped to make so portly.
My lord.
Worcester, get thee gone! For I do see danger and disobedience in thine eye. Oh, sir, your presence is too bold and peremptory, and majesty might never yet endure the moody frontier of a servant brow. You have good leave to leave us. When we need your use and counsel, we will send for you. You were about to speak.
Yea, my good lord. Those prisoners in your highness's name demanded, which Harry Percy here at Holden took, were, as he says, not with such strength denied as is delivered to your majesty. Either envy, therefore, or misprision is guilty of this fault, and not my son.
My liege, I did deny no prisoners, but I remember when the fight was done, when I was dry with rage and extreme toil, breathless and faint, leaning upon my sword, came there a certain lord, neat and trimly dressed, fresh as a bridegroom, and his chin new reaped, showed like a stubble land at harvest home. He was perfumed like a milliner. Betwixt his finger and thumb, he had a pouncet box, which ever and anon he gave to his nose, and took it away again. Who therewith angry, when next came it there, took it in snuff, and yet he smiled and talked. And as the soldiers bore dead bodies by, he called them untaught knaves, unmannerly to bring a slovenly, unhandsome course betwixt the wind and his nobility. With many holiday and lady terms he questioned me, amongst the rest, demanded my prisoners in your majesty's behalf. I then, all smarting with my wounds being cold, to be so pestered with a popinjay, out of my grief and my impatience, answered neglectedly, I know not what. He should or he should not, for he made me mad to see him shine so brisk, and smell so sweet, and talk so like a waiting gentlewoman, of guns and drums and wounds, God save the mark, and telling me the sovereignest thing on earth was parmacetti for an inward bruise, and that it was great pity, so it was, this villainous saltpeter should be digged out of the bowels of the harmless earth, which many a good tall fellow did destroy. So cowardly. And but for these vile guns, he would himself have been a soldier. This bald, unjointed chat of his, my lord, I answered indirectly, as I said, and I beseech you, let not his report come current for an accusation betwixt my love and your high majesty.
The circumstance considered, good my lord, would ere Lord Harry Percy then had said, to such a person and in such a place, at such a time, though the rest may told may reasonably die, and never rise to do him harm or any way impeach what then he said, so he unsay it now.
Why, yet he doth deny his prisoners, but with proviso and exception, that we, at our own charge, shall ransom straight his brother-in-law, the foolish Mortimer, who on my soul hath willfully betrayed the lives of those that he did lead to fight against that great magician, damned Glendower, whose daughter, as we hear, the Earl of March hath lately married. Shall our coffers then be emptied to redeem a traitor home? Shall we buy treason and indent with fears when they have lost and forfeited themselves? No. A on the barren mountains let him starve. For I shall never hold that man my friend, whose tongue shall ask me for 1 penny cost to ransom home revolted Mortimer.
Revolted Mortimer! He never did fall off, my sovereign liege, but by the chance of war, to prove that true needs no more but 1 mouth for all those wounds, those mouthed wounds, that valiantly he took, when on the gentle Severn sedgy bank, in single opposition, he did confound the better part of an hour in changing argument with great Glendower. 3 times they breathed, and 3 times did they drink upon agreement of swift Severn's flood, who then, affrighted by their bloody looks, ran fearfully among the trembling reeds, and hid his crisp head in the hollow bank, blood-stained with these valiant combatants. Never did base and rotten policy colour her workings with such deadly wounds, nor could the noble Mortimer receive so many, and all willingly. Then let not him be slandered with revolt.
Thou dost belie him, Percy. Thou dost belie him. He never did encounter with Glendower. I tell thee, he durst as well have met the devil alone as Owen Glendower for an enemy. Art thou not ashamed? But, sirrah, henceforth let me not hear you speak of Mortimer. Send me your prisoners with the speediest means, or you shall hear in such a kind from me as will displease you. My Lord Northumberland, we license your departure with your son. Send us your prisoners, or you will hear of it.
And if the devil come and roar for them, I will not send them! I will after straight and tell him so, for I will ease my heart, albeit I make a hazard of my head.
What? Drunk with choler? Stay and pause a while. Here comes your uncle.
Speak of Mortimer. Zoons, I will speak of him, and let my soul want mercy if I do not join with him. Yea, on his part, I'll open all these veins and shed my dear blood drop by drop in the dust. But I will raise the downtrodden Mortimer as high in the air as this ungrateful king, this ingrate and cankered Bolingbroke.
Brother, the king hath made your nephew mad.
Who struck this heat up after I was gone?
He will, forsooth, have all my prisoners. And when I urged again the ransom of my wife's brother, then his cheek looked pale, and on my face he turned an eye of death, trembling even at the name of Mortimer.
I cannot blame him. Was he not proclaimed by Richard that dead is the next of blood?
He was. I heard the proclamation. And then it was when the unhappy king, whose wrongs in us God pardon, did set forth upon his Irish expedition, from whence he, intercepted, did return to be deposed and shortly murdered.
And for whose death we in the world's wide mouth live scandalized and foully spoken of.
But soft, I pray you, did King Richard then proclaim my brother, Edmund Mortimer, heir to the crown?
He did. Myself did hear it.
Nay, then, I cannot blame his cousin king, that wished him on the barren mountain starve. But shall it be that you, that set the crown upon the head of this forgetful man, and for his sake wear the detested blot of murderous subornation? Shall it be that you a world of curses undergo, being the agents, the base second means, the cords, the ladder, or the hangman rather? Oh, pardon me that I descend so low to show the line in the predicament wherein you range under this subtle king. Shall it for shame be spoken in these days, or fill up chronicles in times to come, that men of your nobility and power did gauge them both in an unjust behalf, as both of you, God pardon it, have done, to put down Richard, this sweet, lovely rose, and plant this thorn, this canker Bolingbroke! And shall it in more shame be further spoken that you are fooled, discarded, and shook off by him for whom these shames ye underwent? No, time yet serves, wherein you may redeem your banished honours and restore yourselves to the good thoughts of the world again. Revenge the jeering and disdained contempt of this proud king, who studies day and night to answer all the debt he owes to you, even with the bloody payment of your death. Therefore I say,
peace, cousin, say no more. And now I will unclasp a secret book, and to your quick conceiving discontents, I'll read you matter deep and dangerous, as full of peril and adventurous spirit, as to o'erwalk a current roaring loud on the unsteadfast footing of a spear.
And fall in good night, or sink or swim. Send danger from the east unto the west, so on across it from north to south, and let them grapple. Oh, the blood more stirs to rouse a lion than to start a hare.
Imagination of some great exploit drives him beyond the bounds of patience.
Methinks it would be an easy leap to pluck bright honour for the pale-faced moon, or dive into the very bottom of the deep, where fathom line can never touch the ground, and pluck up drowned honour by the locks. So he that doth redeem her thence might wear without rival all her dignities. But out upon this half-faced fellowship.
He apprehends a world of figures here, but not the form of what he should attend. Good cousin, give me audience for a while.
I cry you mercy.
Those same noble Scots that are your prisoners.
I'll keep them all. By God, he shall not have a Scot of them. No, if a Scot could save his soul, he shall not. I'll keep them by his hand.
You start away and lend no ear unto my purposes. Those prisoners you shall keep.
Nay, I will. That's flat. He said he would not ransom Mortimer. Forbade my tongue to speak of Mortimer. But I will find him when he lies asleep, and in his ear I'll holler, Mortimer! Nay, I'll have a starling, shall be taught to speak nothing but Mortimer, and give it him to keep his anger still in motion.
Hear you, cousin, a word.
All studies here I solemnly defy, save how to gall and pinch this Bolingbroke, and that same sword and buckler Prince of Wales. But that I think his father loves him not, and would be glad he met with some mischance. I'd have him poisoned with a pot of ale.
Farewell, kinsman. I'll talk to you when you are better tempered to attend.
Why, what a horse-stum and impatient fool art thou, to break into this woman's mood, tying thine ear to no tongue but thine own.
Why, look you, I am whipped and scourged with rods, nettled and stung with pismires when I hear of this vile politician, this Bolingbroke. In Richard's time, where was the place? A plague upon it, 'twas in Gloucestershire, where the Mancab Duke his uncle kept, his Uncle York, where I first bowed my knee unto this king of smiles, this Bolingbroke. Spud! When you and he came back from Ravensburg.
At Berkeley Castle.
You say true. What a candy deal of courtesy this fawning greyhound then did proffer me. Look, when his infant fortune come of age, and gentle Harry Percy, and kind cousin. The devil take such cozeners! God forgive me. Good uncle, tell your tale. I have done.
Nay, if you have not, to it again. We will stay your leisure.
I have done, i' faith.
Then, once more to your Scottish prisoners. Deliver them up without their ransom straight, and make the Douglas son your only mean for powers in Scotland, which for divers reasons, which I shall send you written, be assured, shall easily be granted. You, my lord, your son in Scotland being thus employed, shall secretly into the bosom creep of that same noble prelate, well beloved, the Archbishop.
Of York, is it not?
True, who bears hard his brother's death at Bristol, the Lord Scroop. I speak not this in estimation, as what I think might be, but what I know is ruminated, plotted, and set down, and only stays but to behold the face of that occasion that shall bring it on.
I smell it. Upon my life it will do well.
Ah, before the game is afoot, thou still let slip.
It cannot choose but be a noble plot. The power of Scotland and of York. To join with Mortimer, huh?
And so they shall.
Indeed, it is exceedingly well aimed.
And 'tis no little reason bids us speed to save our heads by raising of a head. For bear ourselves as even as we can, the king will always think him in our debt, and we think ourselves unsatisfied, till he hath found a time to pay us home. And see already how he doth begin to make us strangers to his looks of love.
He does. He does. We'll be revenged on him.
Cousin, farewell. No further go in this, than I by letter shall direct your course. When time is ripe, which will be suddenly, I'll steal to Glendower and Lord Mortimer, where you and Douglas and our powers at once, as I shall fashion it, shall happily meet, to bear our fortunes in our own strong arms, which now we hold at much uncertainty.
Farewell, good brother. We shall thrive, I trust.
Uncle, adieu. Oh, let the hours be short, till fields and blows and groans applaud our sport.